3, 2, 1. Yo, what is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Create You podcast. We got a banger. Okay, I don't know about a banger, but it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit of time, but we're not gonna talk about all that. Okay, we're gonna get straight into it. I'm just making sure that I'm triple checking here because last time I was looking for my podcast and my files when I was editing, and I thought I lost it, but I did find it. Which is the last podcast that you guys did see. So thank God for that, because I was like lost, scrambling around for that, and I was so frustrated because I thought it was a really good podcast. So just going over my last things here. So as always, the podcast, if you guys are listening in from any of the audio platforms, you can always watch me at createyou podcast on YouTube. And if you guys are here from the YouTube, then you could always listen on the go, wherever you listen to podcasts. It should be available on most audio streaming platforms, so you could take a look there. They're always in the description if you want to find any of this on either platform from wherever you're listening. And yeah, without further ado, I just want to kind of hop into this because it's something that I've been thinking about for the past week now, right, roughly. It's been kind of heavy on my mind. But it's something that I think has been very pivotal for me lately, and something that I hope to continue into the rest of my life, and something that I've been learning a lot from. So it isn't new for me to mention that I have been sick, because I feel like within the past year and a half, there's been a lot of instances where I've gotten sick. Specifically, or more precisely, like last year, within the last few months, so around September, October, November, December, roughly, somewhere there, I got sick damn near once a month, I believe. It was like a few months in a row, really bad. And then I was good for like 2-3 months, got sick again, and then I got a little bit better after that, and I was good for a little bit more longer time, and then I got sick again. But it seems to be like a lot of the times when I get sick, they're very similar in terms of the sickness. So I still have my tonsils in my mouth, and it's not something that you can really remove as you get older. And from my understanding, it's due to like them already being pretty much set in your mouth. And so if you were to cut them out and take them out, there's going to be a lot of complications with blood, and also just like the surgery. I guess maybe they're too big. I really don't know more than that, but that is what I was told. And so because I still do have them, I continuously keep getting sick with like throat illnesses, basically. So strep has been the main one, and sometimes I don't really come back positive with strep. So I don't know if it could be it could be just like a different strain or strand. I forget which way to pronounce it. Or it could just be something else entirely that I don't know. So a lot of times I'll go and I'll get tested, and it's just nothing comes back. But basically the symptoms that I'll have are always very similar. So obviously, like, my throat is going to be very inflamed, almost swollen. And for me at least, they get massive. Like, they're like, especially this one on my right side here, it just gets enormous, bruh, and it covers like damn near more than half of my mouth or my throat, making it so fucking painful to swallow, to drink anything, to eat anything. And so, like, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because that in and of itself is terrible. So if you're sick, you obviously need to hydrate, and you need to try to eat as much as you can. It's going to be very difficult to do that. And even take meds, like stuff like that. Those things are hard to do already as it is when you're sick. So when you can't do that, well, that doesn't help you at all, because you need to be hydrated so that way that your body can help continue to fight off the sickness while it's in like that state. As well as like eating, you got to be able to energize your body, because it's working very hard, producing a lot of white blood cells and attacking the virus or the bacteria or whatever it is that's causing you to be sick. As well as even like if you're going to take antibiotics, which is something that I don't really like to do, from just my the past few experiences I had where I just took that and like I wasn't able to do anything else. And so like, yeah, I got rid of like the sickness and it killed off, I think that's a virus. I always forget the difference between virus and viral and bacterial. I'm pretty sure, I think it's actually bacteria that it's getting rid of. But the antibiotics are getting rid of that, right? But like if I'm not eating anything, I'm not taking any like probiotics and prebiotics, then it's going to fuck up my gut. And so I learned that last time where I wasn't able to eat, drink, do any of that. And so like I took my antibiotics and I got better, but slowly. And honestly, they didn't really help. I had to take a steroid shot to help me out because after a few days, it just, nothing was helping. So I think that the antibiotics probably just weren't, they just probably weren't like, for like what they assumed I had. Cause I didn't have strep, at least the one that they tested for. So they gave me that kind of blindly and it didn't help. And so I had to get a steroid shot, which goddamn, that shit helped immensely, bruh. It's like the damn near next day I felt better, which is something that I did this time. And I'll kind of get into like what happened more in detail in a second with this most recent one. But like, yeah, taking the antibiotics like fucked up my gut. And so like I was eating the same things before and the same things after I got sick, but I couldn't digest any of the food afterwards. And so like it was really, really bad. And honestly, like I don't think I ever really recovered from that. Even after taking like prebiotics and probiotics. So I just had a hard time digesting a lot of stuff. So like that was that. I think I probably should have went to the hospital again for that. And I'm saying again because I'm about to tell the next story, but I think I really should have went to the hospital like and figured that shit out because it was almost as bad as what happened recently, but it wasn't like to that extent. So anyways, that's all that. But to get into this, like I had very similar symptoms. And so like, along with what I was saying with the throat, like the other symptoms that I would experience is a very high fever. So anywhere from like 102 to 104, which is not, it's really not safe at all. It's not okay. I think it can actually fuck up your brain. I forgot what it is, but I think it can cause, I don't want to say something that it actually doesn't do, but I just know that it does something to your brain where it fucks it up. But if you've ever had a high fever, the way that it feels is like, obviously you're really, really hot, but it makes it hard to, for instance, like when I was sleeping, it makes it hard to like just sleep because your brain is like constantly working, but it doesn't make any sense. Like everything that's happening doesn't make any sense because it's so hot that it like it just literally doesn't make sense. I'll have dreams like that just keep reoccurring that don't make any sense. And they're very frustrating dreams. Like for some reason, like I think it's just because I'm so hot and it's just like a frustrating feeling. And, yeah, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You almost feel like delusional. And even when you're like awake, you'll maybe come in and out of like a nap. But like there's no comfort in that at all. So like you have to get up and take a shower and, cool down or put a towel on your face. But even then, like it's best to just hop in the shower and try to take like as cool as you can of a shower. And that usually helps you out for like a few hours, as well as taking meds and stuff. But like, man, when it's that high, bro, it's fucking rough. So not only that, but I also had a headache, and then I also had some body aches. And so like I said, this is very similar to what I had last time. Probably not as intense, but still very, very terrible. Like easily one of the worst times that I've ever been sick. And so this most recent time was probably the worst time. But again, this most recent time was very, like I said, these are the same symptoms that I had last time. And so with these, like I started to notice on Monday, when this was going on, started to notice that like I was feeling a bit sick. My throat was hurting a little bit. And I feel like a lot of times the reason why I get sick is because I'm not taking care of myself properly. And so for instance, I wasn't going to sleep early, and which is fine. Like I think that sometimes you can do that. But like if I'm constantly not going to bed multiple days in a row, then I put myself in a very susceptible, I think the word would be susceptible state to get sick. And so I recognized that pattern then there's a correlation between it. I think, I don't know if it's causation, but it's something that I noticed on this time, and then also as the last time I got sick. Like, just wasn't taking care of myself, and so I think that's what caused me to be sick. Especially like a lack of sleep. I think that's one of the biggest ones, as well as like maybe not hydrating myself properly or something like that. So yeah, just in a vulnerable state, and so I think that's like why I get sick. So anyways, like Monday rolls around, and I'm like, damn, bro. I remember what this was like last time. My throat hurt. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I couldn't do anything, and I hated doing anything because it was just me at home, and like no one was here to help me, to take care of me, and like I remember that shit just fucking sucked. It sucked so fucking much. So I made a real effort this time to do my best to take care of myself as much as I possibly could, and despite the feelings that I had, like of not feeling good, not wanting to get up, not wanting to take a shower, not wanting to like fucking drink or like anything, like it didn't like anything, like really. And so on that Monday, I took care of all the things I needed to, and I just like took some meds to kind of push me through the rest of the day. And I knew, so I started getting my vitamins. I got like vitamin D, B, and C, and then like a multivitamin or whatever. And I got all those. I got like a bunch of Gatorlights, which are essentially like Pedialytes with a lot of electrolytes in them. And so I got like a handful of those. I got a bunch of waters. Yeah, I got all those. And then I like went upstairs and I started to like, I pulled out like these little desks. If you're watching here on the YouTube, like these little desks here, I put them next to my bed. And so I had like, I took out all the meds from like the cabinet and the pantries or whatever, or like the cabinets upstairs from the restroom. And I put everything out that I might need. And I had like a rag ready for like, if I got too hot or anything like that. I had the thermostat. I had the different pain meds for like the symptoms that I had, as well as like just like ibuprofen. I had all my waters and all my Gatorlights sitting out. I had, I think I even got food. Like right before I started feeling really, really bad, I tried to eat something before then and try to make it something very simple, like a soup. Even if I couldn't eat all of it, like I just wanted to make sure I got something in because I knew that the week ahead was probably going to be a little rough. And so thank God I did all that. I feel very proud of myself because, that's not something that's easy to do. And I didn't do it last time. And I really suffered the consequences last time. I lost a lot of weight. I think that not doing any of that, taking care of myself, even in small ways, I think probably prolonged and made things worse. As well, it just didn't help, quite honestly. So I started, to set all that out. The symptoms started to ramp up a bit, and I'm like, yeah, I already know. And so I'm, letting my boss know that I probably won't be in to work, and I'm, getting ready for all this shit. And basically, like, it just continued to ramp up from there. Like I said, the symptoms before were just like high fevers. I even got like specific meds for like NyQuil, like Dayquil and NyQuil and stuff. But yeah, they started to ramp up, and I was like, yeah, man, I already fucking know. So I just kind of tried to I just basically managed it as best as I could. And if I started to get high on a fever, I made sure to go to get up, and man, like, it was really fucking rough for 3-4 days. And then I think on the second or third day I went to the doctor. Kind of glossing over some stuff here, but I went to the doctor. I go in there, I get tested for strep. Comes back negative, so she wants to test for mono. She's trying to find like different things within the throat that it could possibly be, and so like nothing comes back positive. And so she then runs a throat culture, and basically what that is like it just kind of takes the saliva that I have, or like all that, not saliva, but like the mucus and kind of like the phlegm in the back of my throat where my tonsils are, and test that for basically anything. It comes back positive for a different strain or strand, I forget the word, of strep, which I didn't know until later on. But that happened on Wednesday. Yeah, so Monday rolled around, Tuesday I didn't go to work. Wednesday I went to the doctor, and then I had to call in again on Thursday. But that Wednesday when I got tested for everything, they said they would call me later in the week to let me know like what was happening. But while I was there at the office, they also gave me a steroid shot, which helped a lot, as it did last time. So she had discussed putting me like on antibiotics, but because nothing came back for my test, and we didn't know anything until later about the throat culture. She thought that it was also best to probably not put me on antibiotics, which I told her that I didn't also want to take those because of the instance from last time. Like, I took them, I wasn't able to eat, fucked up my gut, and then it just was like a rough uphill battle from there, like months after I was sick. So yeah, like that's all going on, and I'm getting better slightly, by Thursday. I'm like, okay, Friday I should be good to go to work. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Go to work. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'm feeling well enough to go into work and work the day. So that day goes by. It's okay. Still feeling a little bit rough. My throat's hurting a bit. And then Friday rolls around, and no, sorry, I already said that. So Friday rolls around, and then Saturday rolls around, and I go into work, and I end up staying for a little bit longer, and I start to feel like I'm starting to feel sick again. And I'm like, fuck, man, like, I guess this shit didn't work. I really, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I may have reinfected myself through my toothbrush. I thought that maybe like you would take a couple more days after like the steroid shot to change my toothbrush, but like I don't know. I didn't know any better, and so I may have reinfected myself, but I may have not. Like, it might have just been like the steroid shot just kind of held me over for a couple days, and then it just didn't really work, and then it kind of swayed off. So yeah, Saturday rolls around, and then I'm getting home. I start taking more meds, and I'm like, yeah, it's starting to feel like shit again. Some of my symptoms are starting to come back. They're not as bad, but I can still feel them. Mostly my throat, and I had a slight fever, and then maybe like a very minor headache. So it wasn't as bad, but it was still getting, something was going on. And then this Saturday progresses. It's just continuing. Sunday I wake up, and fuck, man, it's so fucking terrible. Like, I don't want to get out of bed, and I had a lot of like, I don't know what the word is, but I had a lot of like mucus and stuff that I needed to spit out for some reason, like around this time. And so I'm just constantly doing that. And at this point, when I wake up, the pain has moved from up here, like in my upper, like underneath my, like in the back of my throat, that's like my tonsils were, that's where it was initially at. And then it started to move down more like into my throat, like maybe my esophagus, and maybe sort of like where my Adam's apple is, sort of in that area. And so anytime I'm like swallowing, like if I can feel something in there, and I can feel all like the phlegm and mucus and shit, like just kind of in my throat. It's very nasty. But I remember waking up because I just kept, I woke up, and then I kind of just kept going back to sleep. And I remember waking up at one point, still spitting up all this phlegm and stuff because I was like in and out of my naps. And I remember waking up at one point after I slept for a little bit, and I had so much in my throat that I woke up literally choking because I couldn't breathe at all, and I had to like fucking pull, like somehow get all of it out of my throat, like kind of like I don't really know how to explain it, like what the word would be for this, but like pulling all of it out, like using your throat. And so I got all of it out, and bro, like it was fucking scary because I was literally choking. I couldn't breathe for a moment, and I got it out. And so then after that, I just like kind of stayed awake and kept spitting all of this shit out, and it just progressively is continuing to get worse, basically. So I'm like, bro, like I don't know what else to do. Like, this shit's bad. Like, I was just sick. I went to the doctor. I thought it was okay, and now it's coming back. So like, this shit's, I'm getting scared. And so I finally decided to call my mom and ask her to take me to the doctor so they can see what the fuck's going on. And so at this point, my throat is like very tight. I can feel that it's kind of closing in a bit, like kind of everywhere, and it's getting a bit rough to breathe. It's not too crazy, like it's not like really, really bad where I can't breathe, but like I noticed that my breathing is it's just a bit more difficult than usual. And so I decided to, she takes me to the doctor, and they finally get in, and they start checking my throat. And it's like very difficult for me to even open my mouth to like pull my tongue out and stuff. And because it's so inflamed, it's sore, and it hurts. And it's just like everything in my throat is just like shot up. Like, it's just massive. And so they have like 3 doctors. Well, one of them was probably a doctor, and then two other ones were like, the other two were nurses. But they're all checking my throat, and they come in one after another, and I'm starting to freak out, bro, because like nobody's really saying anything. They're just looking, and they just kind of like walk out, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is happening? Like, do I have do I have fucking throat cancer like right now? Like, what is going on? And the doctor comes in, and he's just kind of sitting there, and he's asking about what's been going on. And so I tell him the story basically like of how it started and where it's been and how and like the things that I've done, and like even going to the doctor and what they did. And so he's listening in, and he's like, well, we can't really give you another steroid shot because they don't really work like that. Like, it takes about a month to get another one, for it to work or whatever. I'm like, okay. And he's just kind of sitting there. He doesn't really know what else to do. And then like he leaves the room. He's like, I'm going to go, just give me a moment. I'm going to go talk to these other people and figure out what we're going to do. And this other lady comes in, and she looks at my throat, and then I'm like, she's like, oh, she just kind of goes, oh, wow. And then she leaves, and then I'm like, what the fuck? And then someone else comes back in. I think it was either the doctor or that the last nurse that came in. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and transfer you to the ER. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, what's going on? And they don't say much. They don't tell me anything. And so I'm fucking freaking out. I'm like, bro, like, now I really feel like I have like a throat cancer or like something is going on. And like, why do I got to go to the ER, bro? Like, what's happening right now? So I'm fucking scared. And we're starting to walk out, and she's looking for like a wheelchair to put me in because it's pretty fucking far, the ER, from where we're at. And so we finally like find one after her looking around for like 5 minutes, and we're walking, and she's trying to talk to me and stuff, but it's like damn near impossible to talk, bro. So like most of the time I'm just like, yeah, like I'm just kind of like very faint in my words and the things that I say. And then I finally decide to tell her like, hey, honestly, like, I'm nervous. I'm really like anxious right now. And she kind of puts her hand on my shoulder, and she's like, why? She's like, what's going on? I was like, well, I'm just fucking scared. Like, there's a bunch of people who just came and looked at my throat, didn't say a whole lot, didn't tell me what's going on, didn't tell me what we're going to do. And then the next thing they just say is like, hey, we're going to transfer you to the ER. So like, I'm worried. And she's telling me, that she's a nurse and she doesn't know a whole lot. And so kind of take it with a grain of salt. But what she thinks is going on is that there's an abscess in my throat. And I'm like, well, abscess? Like, what the fuck is an abscess? And basically she says that that's like it's like a pus pocket inside of my throat. And from my understanding, from what they told me, is that I think the strep got so bad that it infected my throat. And I think it was either on my tonsil or like on the back of my like throat lining. Excuse me. And yeah, that's basically all that she said. And so like it put me at ease a lot when she kind of told me, and she's like, they're basically probably, or what they're probably going to do is drain it out. And so like that's also kind of scary, but it felt really good, and it helped me a lot to hear her tell me kind of what was going on, so I at least knew what was happening. Because like I said, they just fucking, all right, well, we're gonna send you to the ER, bro. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on, dog? So as she's like kind of wheeling me towards like the ER, we get in there, and they put me in one of the rooms, and they have someone come in, another doctor. He checks my shit, and he's like, oh my God. And then they have another person come in and check. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, there's just more and more people. And then they finally start me like on some meds. I think some like saline, and then like some other things to kind of help out for a moment. I think it was like another steroid, like some sort of steroid shot that they had started putting into my veins through like the IV. And I'm feeling a bit better at this point. Like, I mean, I'm still in a lot of pain, but I'm just feeling like okay, knowing that I'm like being taken care of finally, and that hopefully I'm gonna start feeling better. So when I initially arrive at the clinic, it's about 6:00, and so about this time it's about 7 or 8. And it's just a constant, like, a lot of waiting. There's a lot of people in the ER who are waiting for like 5 hours, bro. It's insane. And so, I'm sitting in the ER in like the waiting room with my mom, just kind of there, man, and I'm getting like cold and I'm like hungry. I have to continuously keep getting up to spit. And then they finally call me back again, and I guess the doctor who's going to be seeing me soon sent out some meds to put me on so that way I could feel a little bit better. So finally, like, I'm on some meds that are like good for the pain, as well as like a steroid shot, which I think I misspoke earlier. They didn't give me a steroid shot. They gave me something else. But yeah, they gave me the steroid shot and then something to help with the pain and then the inflammatory response from my body, with my throat being as big as it was, to kind of help me breathe and stuff like that. And I think I was either before or after, but I also got a CAT scan of my throat, which was an interesting thing as well, because I've never had one of those before, so kind of scary, but I mean, not really that scary, but just like a whole new experience. It was a little daunting at first when I first got in there. So yeah, anyways, this is all going on, and then eventually I finally get into a room, and we're in this room, and then they're kind of hooking me up to some hydration, some little IV bags, so I can kind of hydrate, because it's been a long time since I've fucking had had anything to drink really, that I could get down. And so like that was really great, man. I was like so fucking thankful, and I started to feel, just on those things alone, I started to already feel better. And so like a lot of the pain and stuff was eased. So get in the room. I'm assuming these are like residents. They are all kind of younger people, and so like they're asking me again, like, hey, what's been going on? And like we want to get caught up to speed here. Consider just they don't know everything that's been going on. So I kind of walk them through the story again of everything that's been going on throughout the past week, and like just all that. And they both check it's just a guy and a girl, and they both check my throat again, and then they leave, and they're going to talk to someone else to kind of just see what the next course of action is. And then the actual doctor comes in, who's like overseeing things, and he tells me, he checks again, another person checks my throat. This is like a constant thing, bro. They just continuously keep checking my throat, bro. This guy comes in, and he's telling me like kind of what's going on. He's like, just kind of comforting me a little bit, and then letting me know like, hey, we're probably gonna get this kind of drained out here, and then put you on some like antibiotics, and then get you some like more pain meds and stuff like that, and then hopefully we'll get you out of here. So that's all going on. There's another doctor that comes in. He's talking to me, and we're having a good chat about, I think, like Marvel and some of the movies and stuff. He's seen some of my tattoos, and he thought they were pretty cool. So we're chatting it up, whatever, and then they have somebody came over with the intercom, and then they had some sort of like some sort of incident on the same level that I was on, to take care of some kid who had, I guess, like got injured or something like that. So they had to all hands on deck for that. So about this time, it's like 9-10 o'clock, I don't know, it's fucking getting late, and so then I have to just basically wait. And shout out to my mom, because she was there the entire time for me, and just kind of there to keep me company and stuff. She even went back to the house, to my house, to take care of the girls for me, as well as like bring me some stuff, like some entertainment, like my Switch, and then my headphones and things like that. That way that I wasn't bored while I was there. So that was pretty cool, and it helped a lot, helped the time go by a little bit. So I think another hour and a half goes by before they get back to me, just because they're taking care of that other thing. But in the meantime, another group of students comes in. I'm assuming they're all residents, but another group, like another pair, come in, and they're checking my throat. And all these motherfuckers are gonna be in there to witness this, to watch, because I guess this is like they're getting, because I think they're residents. I think they're all just kind of like watching, and they're learning a lot. And so this is something new that they have to see. And so that's why they were coming in to take a look and stuff. So they finally get back to the room, the main guy and girl who initially looked at me, and everyone's kind of talking to me about like the procedure and what's about to happen, and they start going over everything. And so basically they give me this little, like, it almost seems like a little clamp, but it's like a little horseshoe kind of looking thing, and you put it on your tongue, and there's a camera on there, and you try to put it as far back as you can to hold your tongue down while they're going to be in there kind of like draining out the abscess and things like that. And so they're telling me like I'm basically in control of this. I'll be holding it down. They even show me like the camera and like what the thing looks like in my throat, and like it literally looked like another fucking tonsil on top of my tonsil. It was so massive. It was nasty, bro. Like it's just a big ass like ball of pus in my throat, man. And damn, like now I knew why that shit hurt so much and why it like spread all the way down my throat, because it was bad. It was so bad. So I'm like, kind of getting adjusted to everything, and then they're gonna start to begin the procedure. And there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably like 6 or 7 people, and this room is like not very big. It's probably like, I don't know, maybe like 7 to 8 feet wide, and then maybe like 12 feet long or something like that. Not a very big room. Like it's literally just enough for like the bed and then like a sink, and that's pretty much it. And there's the door. So there's all these people in there, and they're all watching, and then they kind of start to begin. So they first apply this numbing spray, and so they start spraying it into the back of my throat. And it's like this nasty ass banana flavor, but it's fucking gross, bro. It tastes terrible. It just basically tastes like chemicals, and even it's like kind of hidden by this fake ass banana taste. So they do that, and then the next step is to then put lidocaine, which is another numbing agent, and this time they're going to inject it straight into I guess the abscess is really where they put it, or maybe my tonsil, I don't know. But God, dude, the needle, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll show you like basically, the needle was probably like roughly like that big. And the numbing, like once they put the numbing cream or like the numbing spray in there, like it numbs stuff, but like when they put that in there, bro, we started to put it into my tonsil. God, dude, that shit fucking hurt. And I don't think he put it all the way, like the needle all the way in there, but he put it a pretty good ways in there, and I felt the whole damn thing, bro, and that shit hurt so damn bad. And then even like when they're pushing all the like the lidocaine in there, I can feel all that too, and it's just fucking, it's terrible, bro. So then, another few minutes go by while they're waiting kind of for that to settle in. And then they have that resident who's, I'm assuming, trying to, like, he's working his way towards being a doctor, start working on, I guess, like inserting holes or like kind of cutting into it a bit. And like he has to do this 3 times. He has to do it like on the top, the middle, and like the bottom, or like some shit like that. And despite them putting all of that numbing, like all the different numbing meds inside, bro, it still hurt so fucking bad, because I just felt the pressure of it, and it felt sharp still, but like it was sort of dull at the same time. And man, it was so damn, it hurt so much, bro. Like I'm like holding down my tongue with that weird ass clamp thing, and then in my other hand I have like this tube that you would get like at the dentist, where they like kind of clean out your, like they kind of suck all like the saliva out or whatever. And so I have that with me, and I just remember gripping the shit out of this fucking thing, bro, while he's like going, like he's cutting in there. I'm just having my eyes closed, like I don't want to see nothing. I'm just gripping this damn thing, bro, and it hurts so fucking much. And he's still, like I said, he's still new. This is the first time he's ever done this. So he goes in and he's like not even cutting it. He's like, he's like asking the other doctors who are there, like kind of supervising. And, bro, like, he's like, no, like you're not getting it, whatever. He's like, okay. And then he's like, I'm like, bro. And he's like, he has to pull the thing out, and then he's going to have to go back in again. So like really it should have took 3 times, but it took like 4 or 5, because on a couple of them, he just wasn't getting in there. He wasn't cutting it. And so, bro, like, God, it fucking hurt so much. And so he gets 2 down, and then the third one, he's just not able to get it for some reason. And so then they have the other doctor come, one of his supervisors, the attendees, I don't know, and then he kind of takes care of it. But the way he did it was fucking different than that guy. He like shoved that shit in there and applied so much more pressure, bro. And I didn't like really gag through most of it, but like for that one, it just hurt so much, and I think there's a lot of blood that was coming out just the whole area, and so I'm like that once he got done, I started choking and shit, like trying to get all of it out, and so I put that damn basically that vacuum thing and kind of got all the blood out, and I could just kind of see it all going out the tube, and man, it's fucking terrible, bro. Like it was bad, and I'm so glad that it's finally over and that they were able to help me because it was just it was a long time being there for 7 hours. It was just a long process of getting sick throughout that whole week, and then feeling like I was getting better, and then getting re-sick, and then just like having to go through the whole damn thing all over again, and then man, just fucking exhausting, bro. But they took care of everything, and then by this point it's probably like 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning, and it's they're finally gonna discharge me. Initially they were talking about keeping me there overnight and like just kind of taking a look, but I think that everything went really well, so that they could they got to send me home. And so like around that time my pain meds are starting to wear off, and so I'm asking like, can I get some before I go home, because I want to eat. Like I don't want to have to go home with more pain in my throat and not be able to eat, because it was still pretty rough as the pain meds were wearing off. I could still feel it. It wasn't as bad as it was before, but it was still not even manageable. And with the pain meds, like I can still feel it. It feels very, very dull, but it's much more manageable. Like when I would swallow before, it would hurt so much that I had to like literally like make a face, close my eyes, and like really try to get it, whatever it is I'm trying to get down, whether it's saliva, water, or just like small food. But with that, I could feel it. It just feels like a lump, and then I can get everything down with pretty much with ease. So yeah, man, that happens. And I asked for some more pain meds, and this dude comes in, and I'm like, yo, like, can I get some more pain meds before I go home, so that way I can eat? And he's like, okay, yeah, we can get you on some fentanyl. And I was like, and I felt like that fucking meme. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but like, there's like a guy that this kid in like the office, or like the office, but like the room, and they're like, he's like fucking, it looks like he's drugged up, and he's all like, his eyes are like closed, and his mouth is kind of drooling, and it's a little open, and like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and start you on some fentanyl and whatever. And he's like, fentanyl, and he's like laying down like droopy as hell, and then he gets up out of the bed, and he's like, fentanyl, and that's literally how I felt. I was like, what the fuck, bro? I was like, you're gonna put me on fentanyl, bro? Like, no, I got scared because like obviously it's probably like a different one, and I'd imagine that it's okay if they're gonna give it to me, but when they said that, I'm like freaking out because I'm like, bro, all I know about is fentanyl, like being laced into drugs, and like people dying from that shit. So like even people getting hooked on it. So I was getting scared, and I was like, oh fuck, bro, like I don't want to do that. And I was like, there's nothing else we could use. He's like, no, like this is what we're gonna have to give you. And I'm like, that's fine. So he comes back in, and he starts administering the fentanyl through my IV, and I was okay for a couple of seconds, and then like for 5 minutes, bro, I just remember feeling dizzy as shit, and like kind of just like, yeah, just kind of dizzy and a little woozy and shit. And then they finally discharged me after like 15 minutes, so that way they make sure that like I didn't have any sort of reaction to the meds. So I was okay, and they put me back on the wheelchair. They got me out of there. My mom, and she took me home. We went to go get some Taco Bell right before I got home, and man, that was like a best, like that was like the best end to the night, bro, because I got to just go home. I bought like 4 or 5 burritos, or like burritos and tacos or whatever, bro. Smacked on all them shits, bro, because it had been days since I've been eating, bro, like days since I've eaten like a full meal, like where I felt good. And like, yeah, man, that was fucking cool. That was great. I stayed up for another like 2 more hours, just kind of watching like videos and eating and stuff. Kind of, I was eating a little slow because it's still a little rough, but yeah, man, long ass story, but I'm telling all this story because for me this was like a very pivotal moment, because through the week that I was going through this shit, a lot of different things crossed my mind, a lot of different ideas, perspectives, feelings, or even lack thereof, that helped, I think, push me in some sort of new direction that I want to go in my life. Some of the things that I was thinking about is just being away from work, for one, and not feeling the stress of that, and sort of like where I had been at. I don't like my job anymore. I want to move on to something else. I feel like I've outgrown it. I feel like I just want new experiences. I want to live my life, and I want to live the life that I want to live. And also, I feel like some of the things that I was doing prior to getting sick are just things that like I don't want to do anymore, that are not, to me, they're not worth living. The life that I'm living is not worth living, and not in some like pessimistic sort of way or like some depressed sort of way. Like, I feel sad about the life that I live because I don't want to live that life anymore, but I don't feel like to the point where like I want to take my life or anything like that. It's just been a very rough patch in my life, and I don't feel like I'm progressing in so many different areas of my life that I would like to progress in. And so this really helped me a lot with that, and not worrying so much about so many different things, because last time I was sick, I would worry about cleaning up the dishes or cleaning up the house or making sure this is like that, or like, bro, just take care of yourself, take care of your immediate self, because that's what's most important. And it helped me figure out when things are most important to put that at the top. Stop putting it below. Stop worrying about other things that are not that important, that can go without being taken care of for a little bit longer than those things that I would rather put first, that I would rather prioritize. And just even being healthy, like being able to swallow, being able to drink water, being able to eat, like, are things that I sort of took for granted. And this is a really eye-opening moment, and it helped in a lot of ways, even like eating in particular, because I had been eating the same sort of things with no real change to them for a while, and I think that like they weren't sitting right with my gut. And now that like I'm kind of off of that, I've noticed that like my gut's been feeling a lot more, just more healthy, as well as like my digestive and all, and kind of like all that has been better, just like better in general. And just reevaluating and refocusing, as well as just reflecting on a lot of different things. And so it's helped me figure out what it is, the life that I want to live. And to me, right now, it seems more serious than ever. Like, despite the feelings that I have or any of that, I want to live the life that I want to live, regardless of anything, regardless of everything. And this time it feels so real to me. It feels so much more real than anything than this has ever felt in the past. Like, I genuinely feel like I want to work towards the things that I want to work towards. I'm tired of putting them off. I'm tired of letting other things get in the way. I'm tired. I'm just like, I'm so exhausted, bruh. And I feel like this has all just been together, like brewing, and it's finally like pushed me past that point where like some things just don't matter anymore, and I just don't care. I don't want to try to care anymore. I don't want to care anymore. I don't even care anymore. And I'm done letting like certain feelings get in the way, certain ideas or beliefs about myself and who I am, or who, like, just things that hold me back, like worrying and self-doubt and confidence and courage and like all these sorts of different things, like just all coming together. And then they're just like, it's just all painting a picture for me. And it's even like just with perfectionism, and this is shit that I've been talking about for a while now, not only on my podcast, probably within the last couple episodes, but also even in my work on my main channel. And I finally just reached the point that took time, but now where I feel, not only do I like cognitively or like logically know what I want, but I also feel that way. And so like they can combine. And even if I don't feel that way some days, because like some days I'm like, I'd rather just play games, or I'd rather just do this or whatever, I think about, well, what do I want? What life do I want to live? What life is worth living? How can I live a life worth living? What can I do to facilitate, to create that life? And that is what guides me now. And I'm so grateful and glad that is the case, and that I've had this experience where I got sick and I got to take time away from work. I got to take time away from the world and from myself, even because through like me being sick, it was hard when you're sick. You don't have time to think and kind of, I mean, you do, but like you don't have time to think and worry about other shit. At least for me, like that's the way it felt. And so I got to get away from that sort of shit for a little bit. I got to get away from myself and like the mind state that I feel like I'm constantly in, which would be like worrying and overthinking and self-doubting and perfectionism and all that shit. And so like now it seems more real than ever. I can start a podcast without having to make sure it's perfect, make sure it's like this. I got to take pictures recently that I put up on Instagram that I just love creating things, and I didn't nitpick everything. I am able to just do shit now and learn and then move on and not fucking, oh, but it needs to be like this, but it needs to be like that. And like there's little moments where I have still sort of those things that come up, but it's not as frequent, and they don't stop me from doing what I want now. Because before it was like paralysis, bro. I couldn't move. I couldn't do the shit that I wanted to because of those feelings. And so I want to move now regardless of those feelings. And if there are feelings there that can help me in whatever it is that I want to do, then they can help me. If there's feelings there that don't help me, then I can process them, I can be aware of them, and then I can do what I want, because that is what's most important. Not my feelings are important, but they're not the most important thing. The life that I live, the life that I want to live, is what is most important to me. And so it's just been great. And even now, it's been about a week since I've kind of been recovered, and I go to work. I don't worry about even small interactions with people. Something's changed. I really don't. I don't understand all of it quite yet. But even at work, like, I still don't love being there. I don't love my job anymore. I want to do something else. But while I'm there, I can still make the best of it. Some of the interactions, or really a lot of the interactions that I've had lately at work with not only my coworkers, but even with the people that I interact with on a daily basis, have been so fulfilling, and they've been so much more sort of intimate, not in like in a weird way, but they've just been cool. I've been able to just talk to people, and I don't know anything about these people. I have no idea who these people are. I greet them and I smile, and I ask about shit. Excuse me. I ask about them and like whatever they got going on, and it just comes so much more naturally now. It comes so easy. I don't overthink. I don't even care if I fuck up or say something silly. I can do that now with confidence, with courage, and it doesn't feel hard to me. I feel like I know what I'm doing. It just feels all natural now, and it's so cool, because I remember there was so many days and so many times in my life where like that wasn't the case. And so like I don't know what's changed, but something has changed, and I think it's letting go of worrying, letting go of perfection, letting go of self-doubt and the things that have been holding me back, and just living, bro. Living and learning and allowing myself to do that. And I think that that's been holding me back for so fucking long, bro. And I'm so glad that like I'm learning to not allow that to happen anymore. It may come back in the future. It may not. I have no idea. But where I've been at and what I've been learning and what I've been doing has been those things. And it's been great. It really has been, and I've been been feeling very grateful about that, very appreciative. I feel like it even brings sort of some energy to me, to my life. I sort of also feel like that maybe like some of the vitamins and stuff that I've been taking have possibly been helping with my energy and my mood. I'm not too sure, even like my gut. So I guess time will tell once I stop taking those. I would like to keep taking them, but they do get a bit expensive. So I don't know. We'll just kind of see what happens after that. I stop taking them. But as of now, like I've been feeling great, and then I think that those have been helping a lot, as well as just like my attitude towards everything. And work is sort of it doesn't feel like so daunting anymore. Like I used to feel like I was just tired as fuck, tired all the time at work. And even now when there's a lot of work to be done, I can still do it and feel okay and feel good. And then even come home and take care of the things that I want to. To do the things that I want to. Fuck taking care of them, but like doing the things that I want to. So lots of big changes and lots of things that have been going on in my life, and I'm very grateful for them and for the things that have been changing. Very appreciative. And I hope that they continue. I don't know. Like, I guess really, that's all I can do. And just continue to keep kind of doing what I'm doing and growing and progressing and living the life that I want. So, yeah, I just wanted to share this because I feel like, I just wanted to share this. I think it's pretty important to me. And yeah, just some different perspective and whatever. Maybe it helps somebody. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today. And yeah, if you made it this far, again, you can always check out the podcast on YouTube, and you can see me in video form. Or you could listen on a audio platform as well. If you're watching here on YouTube, if you want to take me on the go, listen to the podcast, support me. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say here, but yeah, appreciate you guys listening in, taking the time out of your day to support, to listen and watch and whatever. Hopefully you gain something from this. Thank you. Thank you for your support. And I guess we'll see when I do another one of these. I've been planning on creating a lot more, and so having a lot of fun doing this. So hope to continue it. So yeah, man, that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.